Hey guys, so something that has always fascinated me has been psychology, specifically the psychology of personality types. I don't know what it is, but I think that there's something really cool about how you can understand yourself better and the world around you better based on your personality type. This especially became true when I was living with Haley a few months ago, because even though we have completely opposite personalities, we would oftentimes come to the same conclusions about things, but how we got there would be completely different. And it was always really fascinating, like talking to her about that and about those differences and the way that we felt about things. Today, what I thought I would do is take the 16 personalities quiz online, and I would go through it with you guys so that maybe you could learn more about my personality. I have downloaded Adobe Captivate, which I didn't know existed until about 10 minutes ago, and I'm going to go through this personality quiz with you guys, try to explain like my thought process with each of the questions, maybe not all of them because it's kind of long, and then see what I get at the end. I have taken this test before, but it's been a really long time since I took it, so I think I'll get the same one, but not 100%, we'll see. So this is the website for the personality test that I'm taking. This is the best one that I have ever seen. It's not the official like Myers-Briggs. For that, you do actually have to go in and have it done by a professional. It usually takes like a few hours and it has to be in a really controlled setting. So this isn't by any means like the official like test that you take for your personality type, but in my experience, it's the best one that I've ever seen. And I have actually taken the Myers-Briggs test before. I took it like 5 years ago. And from my experience, like this has been pretty accurate. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people? No, never. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. Sometimes that happens. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. Yes, like I can't have any notifications on my phone. It stresses me out. You find it easy to stay relaxed and focused even when there is some pressure. I would say I like a little bit of pressure. I think when I feel pressure to do something, that's usually when I do my best work. You do not usually initiate conversations. No, I'm always starting conversations. Do you, like, if anyone knows me, like I'm always talking. You rarely do something out of sheer curiosity. I would say that's kind of wrong. You feel superior to other people. I would say no. Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. I wouldn't say like 100% yes, but I get really stressed out when things aren't organized. Like for me, everything has a place and I want it in its place. But it doesn't like ruin my entire life if it's not. You are usually highly motivated and energetic. I would say usually. If I'm not depressed, yes. Like if I'm having a really bad mental health day, that changes. If I'm having a normal good day, I'm very motivated and I'm very energetic and like happy and freaking out. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. I would say yes. Like I'm a very argumentative person, and if I'm arguing with someone and I know I'm right, or I think that like I have better sources, I don't really care. I've stepped on a few people's toes from being way too blunt before. That's definitely been a thing that's happened. You often feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. Sometimes I would say yeah. I would say sometimes I feel like I have to, I'm gonna put that in the middle of agree, because I feel like a lot of times I want people to understand where I'm coming from. Like I want to explain like my thought process with something. Your home and work environments are quite tidy. I would say definitely. Like I'm a very organized person. You do not mind being at the center of attention. I would definitely agree with that. You're never gonna find me in the corner of a room by myself. I'm always talking to people. You consider yourself more practical than creative. I think I'm gonna put this one in the middle, because obviously like I do YouTube and stuff because I'm a creative person and I like doing creative things, but I'm also very practical about the way I do it and practical about things in my usual life, so that's probably pretty evenly split. People can rarely upset you. I'm gonna put that in the middle again because I think it depends. It depends on what we're talking about and it depends on what they've done. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. I'd say yes, to a point. Like I usually am very organized as far as like hotels and flights and like renting things and things like that. But once I get there, I don't usually have a plan. It is often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. I would say disagree. Like I would say I'm a pretty empathetic person. Like usually a lot of my friends, like I'm pretty good at talking to them and giving advice and like talking talking to people through their problems if they need me to be there. Your mood can change very quickly. I'm gonna put this in the middle because again, I think it depends. I'm usually a pretty happy person, but if I hit a wall, and again, it's usually like a mental health thing, if I hit a wall and all of a sudden I'm just not feeling it. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in the middle. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. I'm gonna put yes, mostly because I think, again, I'm one of those people that's like, I want facts and I want sources and I want truths. And I understand that like my truth is not somebody else's truth, but like there are certain things that you can't argue with, that I get kind of frustrated when people argue against things based on emotional responses instead of like a fact. You rarely worry about how your actions affect other people. I would put that in the middle. Like, I would say in the moment, I usually don't. Like, in the moment, I'm very heated about things and I'm very like passionate and excited about something. And then afterwards, I feel really bad. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or maybe I should just learn to keep my mouth shut. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than to a methodical and organized approach. I'm gonna say a little bit yes there. Again, I think it just kind of depends. Like, I'm one of those people that like, when I want to work, I work for like 6 hours, but then it might be days before I do it again, which is why like sometimes I will upload a video once a week and then sometimes I won't upload a video for 2 months. You are often envious of others. I feel like this is really hard for most people to admit to, but I will admit that yes, like sometimes I think that's a very human thing to say, is that like sometimes, yeah, I'm jealous and I'm like, I want what you have. That's cool as hell. I don't think I'm afraid to admit that. An interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. I'm gonna say slightly disagree, simply because while I do love reading a book and video games when I'm at home or when I'm like having a bad day and I just don't want to see anybody, usually where I get most of my energy from and where I'm happiest is when I'm out with my friends or we're doing something, even if we're not doing anything like cool or important. Like just going and getting coffee with my friends usually makes me happy. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. I'm gonna say no. I think having a plan is important, but then like being okay with not sticking to the plan if something better comes along is important. You rarely get carried away by fantasies and ideas. I'm gonna put this in the middle. I think it goes both ways for me. You often find yourself lost in thought when you are walking in nature. I would say definitely. I'm one of those people, like my brain will not shut up. Like I have trouble sleeping because my brain won't shut up at night. If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong. Yes, oh my God, especially like text messages. If I'm in the middle of a conversation with someone, especially like kind of a like big conversation about a serious topic and I say something and then they don't immediately respond, I'm like, oh my God, they hate me now. I'm never gonna hear from them again. Our friendship is over. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. I'm gonna put this in the middle. Ideally, they would be both. You do not let other people influence your actions. I try not to be a follower. Like I try to like go my own route and be like who I am, but at the same time, I'm very much one of those people that like, I like inside jokes. I like being part of the party. I like feeling included. And I think sometimes that does like let other people influence how I act or what I say. Your dreams tend to focus on real world and its events. I'm gonna say slightly agree. I think my dreams are mostly like very realistic, but also like things that might not ever happen. Like it's stuff that could happen, but probably won't happen. It does not take you much time to start getting involved in social activities at your new workplace. Yes. You are more of a natural improviser than a careful planner, 100%. Like if I can get away with having a rough outline of what's going on and then just winging it, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I'm gonna say mostly disagree there. I'm usually pretty good at keeping my emotions in check, especially when I need to make a big decision. You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet intriguing ideas. I'm gonna say yes, because I think the word for me is often. I wouldn't say it's often, but it does happen. You would rather improvise than spend time coming up with a detailed plan. Yes, 100%. You are a relatively reserved and quiet person. No. If you had a business, you would find it very difficult to fire loyal but underperforming employees. No. Knowing me, if I had my own business, I wouldn't hire anyone that I know personally. Like that's probably not a thing that would happen, simply for this reason. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence, and I'm gonna say yes, I am an existentialist at heart. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. Yes, 100%. Well, I'm gonna put that kind of in the middle because I would say there are things that I have done that have been logical long term, but at the time when I made the decision was more of an emotional based thing. Like moving to London, that was entirely emotional based, even though I was validating it with logical reasons. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. I'm gonna put that in the middle because I like to-do lists, but I'm one of those people that I will ditch my to-do list as soon as something better comes along. Which, again, maybe not the best way to do things, but that's honestly what happens. If your friend is sad about something, you are more likely to offer emotional support than suggest ways to deal with the problem. I'm gonna slightly disagree. I'm one of those people that likes to fix things and I like to help people. So I usually like to give advice and try to help my friends if I can. Like obviously there are some situations where you can't, but if I can help, I will. You rarely feel insecure. I'm gonna put this kind of like slight disagree. You have no difficulties coming up with personal timetable and sticking to it. Disagree. Being right is more important than being cooperative when it comes to teamwork. Obviously, you all need to work together well, but I'm also like, if you're being stupid, I'm probably gonna call it out. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless of whether they are supported by facts or not. No, that's how Donald Trump got elected president, so no. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people. Agree. You frequently misplace your things. Sometimes, it depends. I would usually say disagree, but then before filming this video, I couldn't find my hard drive, so I'm gonna put that in the middle. You see yourself as very emotionally stable. I would say kind of agree. I think my mental health sometimes makes me a little emotionally unstable, but for the most part, I can usually keep my emotions in check, and it doesn't really affect my decision making. Your mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas and plans. Yes, I would say that's probably true. You would not call yourself a dreamer. I'm gonna put this in the middle because I would say I do dream about things. Like I have big dreams, but in the back of my mind, I'm always trying to figure out like, how do I actually make that happen? Like what is the realistic side of this? You usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. No. I can talk in front of people all day. I don't have a problem with that. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experience than your imagination. Completely agree. You worry too much about what other people think. I'm gonna put this in the middle because I don't really think about what other people think most of the time. Like there are certain times where obviously like I wonder what my parents think or my family in general or my friends. But for the most part, like society as a whole, I could honestly care less. Like I stay in my lane most of the time. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls, avoiding the center. Disagree. I'm always wanting to be out there meeting new people and doing stuff in the middle of the room. You have a tendency to procrastinate until there's not enough time to do everything. I would say that's kind of, okay, I do that a lot with school. Like with classes in school, yes. With work, not so much. Like if I'm getting paid to do something, I do it. But I would still say like that's probably agree. You feel very anxious in stressful situations. Yes, I get anxious a lot. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. Being liked by others is nice, but also to get me where I need to go, I need to be respected as well. You've always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things in art, books, art, movies. I would say yes. I mean, I don't know anyone who's not interested in book, arts, or movies. Like, if you can find me one person who's not interested in books, art, or movies, then honestly, like, what, why? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how, like, what are you interested in? What do you do? You often take initiative in social situations. Yes. Okay, it's time for the results. You guys ready? I'm ready. ENTP. It's exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Yeah. My personality type, since forever that I can remember, is the debater, which I'm sure if you actually know me in real life, that is not surprising to you at all. I will argue with a fence post. I'm one of those people that's also curious about everything, so like I will ask questions and want more information about everything. Some of my friends laugh because they're like, you're so passionate about literally everything. And I know a lot of people with personality types, they say, oh, you either want to know a little about a lot or you want to know a lot about a little. And I'm one of those people that I want to know a lot about everything. So yeah, we can start reading about who I am as a person. I'm not gonna read this whole thing because it's really long, but I will point out some of like the really cool things. This part, an odd juxtaposition arises with debaters as they are uncompromisingly honest but will argue tirelessly for something that they do not actually believe in, stepping into another's shoes to argue a truth from another perspective. I would say this is definitely me. I'm one of those people, like I think I said earlier in this video, like my truth is not somebody else's truth. That's something that I really believe in, and even though it's really hard sometimes, I do like to think from the perspective of other people and try to put myself in someone else's shoes and argue that other side. Obviously there are some topics that I find it really hard to deal with, and it's really difficult for me to understand that, but I do try really hard and I take steps to try and understand, you know, everybody else's worldview and why someone might have a feeling about something even if I don't agree with it necessarily. Debaters you may know. Ooh, this should be fun. Weird Al Yankovic. Did I pronounce that correctly? Adam Savage. Oh my god, I love Mythbusters. Sarah Silverman, Mark Twain, Tom Hanks, Thomas Edison, Celine Dion, Sacha Baron Cohen. That's a great picture of Sacha Baron Cohen. Captain Jack Sparrow, Jim Halpert. Oh my god, I'm the same as Jim. Nice. Irene Adler from Sherlock, the Joker, Tyrion Lannister, nice. Julian Stark, Felicity Smoke, Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future. I think those are some pretty cool people in history and like characters throughout history to be the same as. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. If you're interested in learning your own personality type, I would be really interested to hear what it is, and you can leave a comment below. As well, if you want to learn more about my personality types or any of the other 15, you can click the link in the description to go to the website that I used, and you don't have to take the test. You can just read about all of the other ones and be fascinated as I am. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!